I'm a bit confused as to what's going on here. Well, that clearly ain't gonna start. Well, the gas gauge ain't moving off of E. I think I'm gonna put, I didn't think it was that low. But hi there, folks, and welcome to another episode of Michael's Backyard Marina. Well, you know, I use a couple of Jeeps. I got old Donkey, the old 2000 Jeep Grand Cherokee, and I've got the old Liberty here, which has a 3.7 liter V6. But you know how well they go when you got a dead battery? Not well at all. Well, this battery I knew was going bad last fall. I went to start it in the fall and I had to jump it, and I think I might have a bleed. I'm not sure. I'm going to be testing and see if I can figure out what that might be. But I need a new battery. And I wasn't going to buy one last fall. It probably would, prices probably would have been better then. I'll guarantee you that. I bought a brand new, and I'm not sponsored by anybody here. I was at my local Walmart, and I bought an EverStart, $149.99 for a battery. The prices have gone up, up, and up. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and throw a battery in here, and I'm going to talk to you about something that happens with this particular vehicle when you're dealing with a dead battery, and how it may or may not act once you get it running again. And I'll tell you that in just a minute. Let's go ahead and change out the battery here. I'm going to get you in close, show you what I do to change battery. It's not a lot to it, pretty simple. But, and a lot of you guys that watch my channel are already mechanically inclined and go, well, I've already changed the battery. Well, this is for the guys that are fresh out of college, got a dead battery, and want to do it themselves. I know you can go to AutoZone and O'Reilly's and all those places, and they'll just swap it out for you. They'll test it and then swap it out for you. But guess what they won't do? They won't come to your house and do it. Now, if you got a jump pack like I do, you can jump it and go get that work done. You got options. I'm just saying, you got options. In this case, it's dead in my backyard. We're going to change the battery out. Then I'm going to tell you a little something else about it. Now, for whatever reasons, known to man, beast, and otherwise, this looks like an aftermarket clamp. It took a 12 millimeter. This one looks pretty much factory. It took a 10 millimeter to take it loose. And then you got a battery clamp back here that you got to take loose, and it is a 10 millimeter. And I just use this with a long reach and get down here and bip, 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 take it right off. So let's pull this on out. I think I got it loose enough now. Maybe not. Well, I thought I did. Maybe you got to take this one all the way out. Let's just get it clear out of the way. There we go. Should be able to lift it right up now. Yep, there we go. Now, I bought this battery a couple days ago, and I'm just now getting around to putting it in. But the advantage to that, let's call it an advantage. Let's just say I had an advantage to doing it this way. I went ahead and put it on my charger. I've got a battery maintainer charger, and when I plugged it in, it was blinking like it needed a little juice. Now, this battery is before it was built in April of 2022, so it's, you know, relatively new. Make sure that's good and tight, because when you're going over the big jumps getting air, you don't want this battery coming loose on you, do you? You always put the positive on first, and then the negative on second. Come to life. No sparks, no smoke. That's a good sign. Now we're going to go ahead and start it up. Let's see how it whips her over. Hopefully it does a good job. Here we go. Now that's what will happen usually after you have a dead battery. It'll start and die. I switch it off, switch it back on, and then it'll start and go. Because what it's trying to do is find its home, find its sensors and all that fun stuff. Well, that's weird. What happened? Well, that's interesting. She whips right over, but she ain't firing. It kicked that first time. Something's going on here. Let's do a little digging. I'm a bit confused as to what's going on here, because this thing has always had a good, I don't know. No bounce, no play. Well, that clearly ain't gonna start. Well, the gas gauge ain't moving off of E. I think I'm gonna put, I didn't think it was that low, but maybe it is. Let's stick some gas in the darn thing. Maybe that's all. Now this gas is expensive. It's non-alcohol that I put running my mowers and stuff, and it was right up there about $4.80 a gallon when I bought this 5 gallons. So we're not going to put all this in there, but a couple gallons will see if that's the problem, and I can also run up to the store, top it off. Absolutely. Let's see what that does. Let's show up on the gas gauge now. That's weird, the gas gauge is not even moving. Huh. Well, I like my gas lights on. The gauge didn't come up, the gauge didn't even move. I'll put some more in. Maybe I'll just put it all 5 gallons in. Just to find out that I got a bad fuel pump now. Who knows? We got something else going on because I just topped it off. I thought I had more gas than that, but it's showing E and the neck is full. Did I lose a fuel pump? That'll be depressing as I'll get out. Mercy. Saga continues. Let's just dig in here and see what's going on. This is a revolting development. I'm gonna shoot some fun stuff down the throat of this and fire it and see if it'll kick and die. Then I'll know it's actually the fuel. Now I have a fuel rail here. Does it have a fuel pressure? Sendor. I just have a sneaky suspicion something's went horribly wrong with my back at the gasoline tank, because my fuel sending unit is showing 0 gallons when I have it full, which absolutely stinks. Because if it's my fuel pump, I got an absolute overfull fuel tank. Huh. Man. Oh, there it is. If you turn the key switch to on and push on this little valve here, a little Schrader valve, you should get some gasoline out of it. I got nothing. I've got no fuel pressure. That stinks. Oh, mercy. Maybe we just blew a fuse. Well, I'm not going to shoot anything down the throat because if I ain't got any fuel pressure, it ain't going to play. The good news is I have a new battery. Bad news is I think I actually got a bad fuel pump now. What the heck? This thing ran perfectly fine, but I've got zero pressure on the fuel rail. And I went back there and turned the ignition on, banged on the gas tank to see if I could get the pump to kind of just do something. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Bad part is I'm out here, I'm gonna pull it ahead a little bit, I guess, and pull it backwards up onto some ramps, I think, and at least I'll be on some concrete. Well, I guess I'm not gonna wrap this video up today anytime soon. There's a lot of work to be done yet. So, in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the negative terminal back off the battery in case I do have some kind of a system bleed that I'm unaware of. I won't go ahead and kill this brand new battery dead. So, I don't know. More to come. All right, folks, as a continuation of the mystery of why the fuel pump quit working and the fuel gauge sending unit quit working, we're going to get this thing up in the air on all 4 ramps. We're using my son's RAV to give it a yank and see if we can get it up on the ramps. We'll see how it goes. He's on grass, so I'm not sure how much towing ability he's going to have. We'll find out. Yeah. All right, ease into her. He's got the downhill to his advantage. We're going up. Whoa, whoa. Huh? That was weird that it started just sliding sideways. Yeah, back up a little bit here. That should work. All right, let's try that. Oh! Well, that went up relatively easily. Now I can crawl underneath there and see if I see any chewed through wires, because I have a suspicion that mice have attacked me again. Alrighty folks, it's been pretty much exactly 1 month later since I started this part of the video, the previous part of the video that you watched, where I pulled this thing up onto ramps. It's been sitting ever since for about a month. I finally decided to get underneath there and feel around a little bit, see what's going on, and sure enough I found, or I can reach up there, I can't see them, but I can feel them. There are 2 or 3 or 4 or however many wires in this little small harness that have been chewed through by mice. There is wire chewed completely in 2. And that all happened from the time I had it parked. I stored it underneath my house, and I bring it out and store it all winter. Bring it out, and you guys might think I'm crazy because, like, why aren't you using your 4-wheel drive in the winter? Well, there's 2 reasons. I prefer to be in my sedan, front-wheel drive, gets around awesomely, and they don't tend to roll over in ditches when you slide off the road. And number 2, both of the Jeeps I own came from South Carolina. And this is an 07, my other one's a 2000, so we're talking some very old vehicles for let's call it for Iowa, where they use salt and calcium chloride and all that kind of crap on the roads that will just absolutely destroy metal. And my Impala has a lot of aluminum underneath there that doesn't seem to attack quite so much. These cars are 100% pretty much rust free, so I've got to drop their gas tank down. And well, I'll just get back to what I was going to say. I'd moved it from underneath the deck for the winters and parked it back outside on the concrete, and within about 4 weeks the mice had gotten underneath there and chewed the wires. Now the bad part is when you're looking for places where mice might have gotten to and might have chewed wires, reach around on top of things. They'll get up there and they'll sit their little horrible butts down and sit there and chew through your crap. They won't reach up and try to chew through stuff that's way up out of their way. But anyway, we're going to get in underneath here. We're going to drop the gas tank, which is going to be really fun. I got to first try to get all that fuel back out that's in it, so I can have at least somewhat of a chance of dropping it without spilling just gallons of gas everywhere. So let's get under here and start figuring out how to get some gas out of this tank, and then we'll drop the tank, repair the wires, put it back in place. Then I'll have my second vehicle that I use to drag all my boat and fun stuff home from other places back in operation. Well, as you can see right here, I got my old motorcycle lift underneath the gas tank. I did find 3 chewed through wires on top of the gas tank. I'll show you those in a little while. I'm taking a small break because it started raining and I'm outside. I got a canopy over part of me, but not over all of me. So we're gonna go ahead and just take a pause, do some other stuff, and then we'll be back out here and I'll show you how I'm gonna fix those wires. And then we did break off 2 bolts on the gas tank strap, which is very disappointing because, like everybody says, you're only, you know, 1 broken bolt away from a 1-hour job turning it into a 5-hour job, and this is where we're at. I went and bought some more 10mm bolts. I got tap drills and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna see if I can drill those. I'm gonna see if I can drill those bolts out, and if I can, we'll drill them out, retap them, put the bolts and straps back up once I fix my 3 wires. But before I put it all the way back up in there, after I get the 3 wires fixed, we're gonna fire it up, make sure it works before I go to the painstaking problem of putting that gas tank all the way back up into place. But I did have to take the bumper, or not the bumper, the trailer hitch off, which is only 5 bolts to take that off. Got that taken off, and that allowed me to get good access to the tank strap bolts. So that's where we're at. No fun, but we're getting there, making some progress. Right there, that's a solid connection. Okay, we're back out here the next morning. It got a little dark on me last night, but I was able to get the splicing done, as you saw. I tried to capture as much video in that as I could. The sound was kind of jacked up for some reason. I'm not sure what happened there. But basically, we got the wires all spliced back together. I got some protection around it. I got some tape around it. And now I have raised the tank back up against where it's going to be mounted. I had 2 broken bolts that I had to drill out and run a tap back up through, and it looks like I salvaged the threads. They're probably 75% salvage. I think it'll be good enough to hold the tank in place. They're going to hold pressure, and then we'll see how it goes. We got the bottom end back together, so all I got to do is put the tank straps back on, get the filler neck back in place with the hose clamp on it, and it's done. But before I secure that in, and I've got everything up in place, I'm going to start it up one more time just to see if it'll actually fire up and go. Make sure I didn't mess up any wiring. We're going to go ahead and put the negative back on. Cross your fingers. Looks like everything's fine. Just got stung by a stinking yellow jacket. That little joker right there just stung me. I put my hand right on him. Oh, there's a yellow jacket nest tucked right up in there. Son of a gun. Dang it. You can't hardly see it. You can't see it at all, actually. Right where he's at, right on the other side there, that little, right through there, it's a yellow jacket nest about 3 inches in diameter. We're gonna have to take care of that right now. Okay, what we're looking at right here is the radiator. Now what I did here, this had a little pinhole leak in the plastic right here. So I took and cleaned this thing off. I sanded it all down with 80 grit sandpaper. There was somebody that had already patched it. I don't know, at some time in history, had put some black sealant of some kind on it. Not real thick either, but they had put it on there. And as you can see, when I started it up yesterday, test starting it, I could see just a little bit of, like a little pinhole leak coming up through whatever they did. So I took my gasket scraper and I scraped it all off, and I couldn't see anything, but apparently there's a little pinhole leak or crack there. I went ahead and sanded it all with 80 grit, and I coated the whole thing with JB Weld. So we're going to just do a little experiment with JB Weld on here. I do have a new radiator coming. This isn't my permanent fix, but I do have some driving around I need to do today, and we're going to see if this JB Weld will actually hold up and get me through. The radiator is full of coolant, so that's good. Well, now that the bee sting has just about stopped hurting, that little booger got me. Unbelievable. But I got them all back. I wiped out the whole family. I know that sounds horrible, but they're yellow jackets. Not yellow jackets, these are wasp. They got a wasp nest. And I don't mind wasp, just stay out of my working areas. And we're just like snakes. When snakes come into my house, they've crossed the threshold. They're gonna have to pay a consequence. Anyway, now that we've got that, we established that the engine's running and that the tank is up in place, other than the tank straps, I haven't pinched anything or damaged anything. It all seems to be functioning. And my little JB Weld fix up there, we'll see. We'll see. Time will tell. I've got a couple more boat rescues to do over the next couple of days. I wanted to use this Jeep to do it. It's about time to get it back on the road again. And I bet the sticker on the license plate. Yep, still outdated. Hasn't been on the road since last year. And this is August. That tells you how long it's been sitting around here. Unfixed, not repaired. But we're getting there. We're going to get her back on the road again and go get some more rescues. Stay tuned. We'll go for the test ride in a little while. I'm not going to bore you folks with the tank straps getting back up in there. It's just 2 straps, 4 bolts, and a filler neck. And we're going to be backing this thing down off the ramps. And like I said, I've got a radiator coming. We'll do another video on the radiator replacement. Unfortunately, the radiator, you know, the plastic end radiators, they are what they are. Now keep in mind, this is an 07, this is 2022. And so it's 15 years old. So if this is the original radiator, it lasted 15 years. Can't complain too much about that. This Jeep has well over 100,000 miles. I think it's got, I don't remember what it has. I just looked, it has about almost like 250 miles away from 154,000 miles on it. It's got the 3.7 liter V6. Still runs like a top. So I can't complain too much about that. And the one thing I do like about this Jeep is it does have the overdrive button on the shifter. So when I'm towing something a little heavier, I can keep it out of overdrive to keep from overheating your transmission and preserve its life as well. Well, let's get under here. Let's get this thing done. Well, there you have it, folks. The Jeep is back. Jeepers. Thought I put my hand on another freaking wasp. Yep, still got a little mark. Well, folks, the Jeep is back. Jeep Liberty's back on the road again, ready for another boat rescue. We got the gas tank dropped, butt connected 3 wires that the mice chewed through back together. Also broke off 2 bolts, removing the battery or the tank straps. I was able to drill and retap those. Got that back up in place. The tank is hanging by the natural place it's supposed to be with the natural 4 bolts that's there. I didn't have to do any weird stuff. And then we also JB welded the radiator. Hopefully that's a temporary fix. I'm getting ready to go on a boat rescue today. Probably leaving here in about 2 hours. They got a bay liner with a 3.0 in it that supposedly runs. That's what they all say. It ran last time I had it in the water. That's fine. I go through and do my analysis on it, like I've done on some other ones I've walked you through, and we're gonna see if we can get this 3.0 running, if I can get it drug home. Now, some of you might be asking, what do you do to prepare for a boat rescue? Well, obviously, I don't go out and I'm able to pick up and get them running and drive them home like you can on the car channels. But I can try to do my best to get them home so I can actually work on them and share that information with you guys. And some of the things I take with me, in case you were wondering. In this case, I've got two. I always look at the pictures. And the pictures will show the wheel, whether it's a 4-lug or a 5-lug. And it's pretty much industry standard, unless you get some homemade weird thing that somebody used an old camper from 1932 and use that axle in their trailer. You'll run into typically a 4 or 5 bolt pattern is a 4 or 5 bolt pattern for probably, I'm going to just throw it out there, 90% of the trailer wheels. Now what does vary is the bearings inside those things, but that's okay. So what I've got is two 13-inch 5 on 4.5 boat tires or trailer tires. I've got my handy dandy CRAFTSMAN 121 piece tool set. I've got my impact sockets as well, a small miniature floor jack, which is enough to get a trailer axle and tire up off the ground. I carry a wooden block for a wheel chock in case I need it, and got some heavy duty straps. I got two 21 or 22 or 24. These are strap-and-o straps, self-retracting. They're really cool because, you know, this here does that, and then as soon as you get it where you want, you just start, and this takes up all the slack. No flapping straps in the wind. These are awesome. So I usually take, oh, come on. I'll take 2 of those, and there's more. I got my 2-inch ball on the back of here. I also take along with me an 1 7/8 ball and 4 other 1-inch ratchet straps, because you never know what you need to tie down. The boat might not even be tied down to the trailer, because you really don't know what you're getting into when you're messing around with something that somebody else is completely tired of. Anyway, that's my little tech tip. We're gonna go take a little look at this bay liner. And now bay liners weren't known for being a pristine, prestigious, they're more of an economical boat type of thing. But the MerCruiser engines that are in them are MerCruiser engines, whether they're in a Starcraft or Bayliner, Whoozy Whatsy Craft, doesn't matter. They were all the same engine. They didn't manufacture, you know, engines for Bayliner and engines for Starcraft. That would be ridiculous to have custom-made engines for each one. That's very cost prohibitive. So I'm gonna go rescue another one. And this one has the outdrive completely off of it. It says there's something wrong with it. Is there, isn't there? We'll find out. But the engine is still intact and in place, and I'm rest assured, I think unless it's locked up or got a cracked block or something in between, for $300, I can't complain. Yes, it's another $300 boat. And then later this afternoon, I'm heading about an hour and a half away up northeast. There's another boat called a Mark Twain that has a 2.5 liter MerCruiser in it. I'm gonna go grab that one. Yet again, another $300 boat. Complete boat. So we're gonna do what I do. We're gonna go grab them, drag them back here. This is, now that I've got this vehicle back on the road again, the 1 hour trip to where I'm going and back will let me know if this is ready to go for an hour and a half one-way trip to go rescue another one later this afternoon. So, well, we kept another Jeep on the road for a little while longer. Here again, this is a 15-year-old Jeep, right? And it's still going and still running. And with a little bit of mechanicking, you can always keep your old stuff on the road a little bit longer. Saves you a lot of cash. A lot of cash. A little bit of time, a lot of cash. But just like I have next to me, parked right next to us, the donkey. I don't know what to call this Liberty. I just call it the Liberty. That's very non-creative. Maybe Silver Bullet or Silver Lightning or Silver Rescue. I don't know. Guys, leave some suggestions down in there, and if I like them, I'll start calling it that. It's got a star on it, big old 5-star on it. Says it's trail rated. I drive it around the yard. Is that a trail? Sure, let's call it that. Well, also the other thing I haven't thrown in here yet is my jump pack. And it's the Elugu jump pack that also has a tire pump on it. And that thing is really handy because you just plug it in, set your pressure, turn it on, and it pumps the tire up fast. If you haven't seen it, go do some searching on my videos for this Elugu. The link will be below for it. And you can look it up, and the one I've got works really, really well. It has jumped many vehicles. It has jumped lawnmowers. It has jumped boats. And it has also aired up several tires. I currently have a tire with a really slow leak that I'm going to have to take in next week on my Impala. And the nice thing about it is I can go pump it right back up to 32, 33, 34, whatever you run your tires at, in a matter of, honestly, less than 3 minutes. It'll top that tire off. It'll actually top the tire off in probably a minute of pumping. 3 minutes for the total process. All right. Well, that's all I got for this video, folks. I hope you like it. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already. We got more boat stuff coming with the IO boats, and then we're going to jump back into some more outboard motors. I've got a few of those underway that I want to finish up the videos on them and get them out to you so you can see and do and repair your own outboards as well, like you've seen on the rest of my channel. Follow the links below for all the items used in this video. And we'll see you on the next video. And sorry, I got a bed head. I woke up this morning and just walked outside, knew I was going to get underneath the vehicle and get dirty, so I didn't bother bathing. I took a shower before I went to bed, so I'm not completely stinky. You know, I'll take a shower and a bath at least 2 times a week. All right, maybe 3. See you on the next video. For those of you that hung around this long, much appreciated. I wanted to give you a quick update, and I waited to the very end to make sure the folks that get these updates are watching the complete video. But a follow-up on the repair on the Jeep works fantastic. Fuel pump pumping, radiator radiating, no leaking. Let's take a quick look under the hood here, and I'm going to show you that patch job I did. Now, keep in mind, I do have another radiator coming. And this JB Weld is holding. There it is, still holding tight. We have covered over, I think, close to 650 miles now since this repair. Part of that hard work and that 600 to 650 miles I've driven since I put it back together, rescued, I shouldn't say rescued. I'm the new caretaker of what you see under here, to be revealed in a future video coming up real soon. To say the least, I ran this trailer across the scales, minus the tongue weight obviously. It weighed 4,020 pounds. We've towed it to the lake once, and I towed it home from its other home to my home. And we covered a lot of miles. So this thing's been about 140 miles of just towing this guy around. Plus, there's more. There's more coming. We dragged this one home. And this one. I guess what I'm trying to say is hang around here, folks. We got some more great content coming for you. And like I always say, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. Get out there and have some fun. This is Michael. Saving Mer Cruisers one boat at a time.